this class, we'll try to have a small outline of medieval Indian history. From where we have to begin our medieval Indian history? From which place we have to ideally begin our medieval Indian history? In the previous outline of ancient Indian history, you should have known that I would have stopped by 1000 AD. I have concluded that by 1000 AD, because of the tripartite struggle, the whole of northern India political setup had weakened and it created a vacuum which was responsible for entry of foreigners. I have spoken in the past, in the previous class. So 1000 AD is a period in which many foreigners entered into India. These foreigners are called Turks. The Turks entered into India because of a variety number of reasons. Some of the Turks whom you know very well happens to be Muhammad Ghazni. Muhammad Ghazni hails from a place which is called Ghazni in Afghanistan. His name is Muhammad, hence he is called Muhammad Ghazni. And Muhammad Ghazni is known for invading India numerous number of times, and most of the times his invasions happen to be successful. His invasions are mainly based on economic aspect, looting and plundering of India of its wealth. Muhammad Ghazni's time happens to be around 1000s to 1027. And after Ghazni, another famous person whom we know is Ghori, and his name is also Mahmud Ghori. He comes from a place which is called Ghor, and his name is Mahmud. So Mahmud Ghori comes to India in the year 1191. The first time he comes to India is in the year 1191, and in this year he fights a battle which is called First Battle of Tarain. In this first Battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori fights with a ruler who is called Prithviraj Chauhan III. Prithviraj Chauhan III. Muhammad Ghori fights this first Battle of Tarain with Prithviraj Chauhan III, and you must know in this battle Muhammad Ghori was defeated, and Muhammad Ghori again comes to India in the year 1192 and fights the second Battle of Tarain. That means in the same place he has fought the second battle, and the same ruler he has fought the second battle. The second Battle of Tarain also happens between Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan III. In this battle, Muhammad Ghori defeats Prithviraj Chauhan III, and in one account, as per one account, he is taken as a prisoner and killed. In another account, it is said that he has been killed in the battlefield. And whatever it may be, Muhammad Ghori defeats Prithviraj Chauhan III in the second Battle of Tarain. After this defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan III, the whole of northern part of India was left to be conquered and occupied by Ghori. Unlike Muhammad Ghazni, who came to India mainly for economic conquest, Ghori had other ambitions other than economic conquest in India. He came to India and he looted India not only of its economy. Over a period of time, he wanted to establish his political empire in India. So, the whole of northern part of India, some part of northern part of India, he conquered and brought under his umbrella, and Muhammad Ghori appointed his able slave in India to administer the territory which Muhammad Ghori conquered. The able slave's name happens to be Aibak. He is called Qutbuddin Aibak. So Qutbuddin Aibak per se controlled the territories which was occupied by Muhammad Ghori and had been given to him. After Muhammad Ghori had returned to Central Asia, Qutbuddin Aibak controlled the territories given to him by Muhammad Ghori starting from 1192 and 1206. Up to this time, he conquered this territory. He continued to rule this territory. And for information, a small part of the territory was also brought in his political ambit by Qutbuddin Aibak, and I am giving the year 1206 because in 1206 Muhammad Ghori died, and afterwards Qutbuddin Aibak really began to rule India from 1206 to 1210. So it has been said that Qutbuddin Aibak's period of rule in India is 1206 to 1210, and for information, he was controlling the territory of Ghori even before 1206. That is from 1192 onwards, he has been controlling the territory of Ghori, and from 1206 he became a de facto ruler. From 1206 to 1210 he controlled. In 1206, when Qutbuddin Aibak sat in the throne, he is said to have established a dynasty, the first of the dynasty in the Delhi Sultanate, which is called a slave dynasty. This is called a slave dynasty because some of the rulers who sat in the throne happens to be slaves. But we have other independent rulers also who sat, who happened to be not slaves, they were independent. So some historians doubt whether to call this dynasty as a slave dynasty or not. Sometimes this dynasty is also referred to a term which is called Ilbari dynasty, I-L-B-A-R-I. Ilbari is the name of the tribe when these rulers they came from. So the first dynasty happens to be slave dynasty or Ilbari dynasty, and the period of this dynasty happens to be 1206 to 1290. So the first dynasty is 1206 to 1290, and the notable rulers during this time happens to be, one is Qutbuddin Aibak, which I have spoken, I have given as brief outline. And Qutbuddin Aibak dies in the year 1210 while playing polo. He died in 1210 while playing polo. After the death of Qutbuddin Aibak, another slave, his name is Iltutmish. Iltutmish sat in the throne. Iltutmish is considered to be the first real ruler of Delhi Sultanate because he is responsible for creating an institution to the Delhi Sultanate by bringing in more organizations. It is said that he introduced something which is called an Iqta system. We will discuss about this Iqta system and Iltutmish as a separate personality in some other classes. Just for information, Iltutmish sat in the throne in 1210 and he ruled from 1210 to 1236. So Iltutmish died in the year 1236, and after the death of Iltutmish, we have a person who is called Razia Sultan. Razia Sultan happens to be the daughter of Iltutmish, and Razia Sultan sits in the throne in 1236 and she rules up to 1240. And you have to know that Razia Sultan is the first woman ruler of Delhi Sultanate. She is the first and the only woman ruler of Delhi Sultanate, and she came to throne by a revolution which is helped by the people. So we have no time to discuss about the sequentiation here, just to know that Razia Sultan sat in the throne because of popular will of the people, and she died in the year 1240. After the death of Razia Sultan, another slave of Iltutmish, he occupies the throne. The name of the person happens to be Balban. Balban is a very able and efficient ruler. When he sat in the throne in the year 1266 and he rules up to 1287 or so. So Balban sat in the throne of the Delhi Sultanate. He was very efficient ruler. He is known for bringing in centralization to this Delhi Sultanate. Balban is also known to give a prestige to the Delhi Sultanate which had been destroyed after the death of Iltutmish. So he had been credited with bringing in many foreign customs in the political setup to India. Balban is a very important ruler. So Balban dies in the year 1287. After the death of Balban, because of his high centralized nature, the Delhi Sultanate could not survive even 3 years after the death of Delhi Sultan, means after the death of Balban. When I said Balban's death brought an end to the slave dynasty, that is true. So from 1290, one of the officers of Balban, his name happens to be Jalaluddin Khilji. In 1290, one of the officers of Balban, who is Jalaluddin Khilji, he came and occupied the throne in 1290, and he started a dynasty which is called Khilji dynasty. Khilji dynasty. The time period of the Khilji dynasty is 1290 to 1320. And in Khilji dynasty, one important ruler is there, and he is the son-in-law of Jalaluddin Khilji, who is called Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji is a very important ruler of this Khilji dynasty and Delhi Sultanate. Alauddin Khilji is a great imperialist. He is responsible for bringing many reforms like military reforms, market reforms, agricultural reforms, administrative reforms, etc. And he is the first ruler from Delhi and Delhi Sultanate to cross this Vindhyas and invade to the southern part of India. He has sent one of his generals, who is called Malik Kafur, who is said to have reached up to Madurai and Rameswaram on one side, and he has reached Mabar, that is in Karnataka, on the other side. Alauddin Khilji died in the year 1316. After the death of Alauddin Khilji, there was a 4 years confusion in this Delhi Sultanate. In these 4 years, it was ruled by his son, who is called Mubarak Khilji, but he could not give a successful rule to this Khilji dynasty. So the Khilji dynasty comes to an end in the year 1320. In this year, when the Khilji dynasty ended in 1320, another person who is called Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He happens to be one of the officers of Alauddin Khilji. He established a dynasty in the year 1320, and that dynasty is called the Tughlaq dynasty, one of the longest of all the dynasties in Delhi Sultanate. So the Tughlaq dynasty existed from 1320 to 1414. In this Tughlaq dynasty, a notable ruler happens to be Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq is very important because he was an innovator, he was a reformer, a largely misunderstood ruler of the Delhi Sultanate. Muhammad bin Tughlaq ruled from 1327 and he died in 1351. After the death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, his cousin, who is called Feroz Shah Tughlaq, he ruled. Feroz Shah Tughlaq. Feroz Shah Tughlaq ruled from 1351 to 1388. Feroz Shah Tughlaq, though gave a long peaceful rule, he was responsible for reducing the Tughlaq dynasty because his reforms, his measures which he took in a larger ambit reduced the efficiency of the Sultanate. Feroz Shah Tughlaq introduced many hereditary aspects in the ruling dynasty. He created hereditary nobility, he created hereditary iqtadars, he created hereditary in the soldiers also, because of which after the death of Feroz Shah Tughlaq, the Tughlaq dynasty could not sustain long. Added to this problem, in the year 1398, we have a foreigner who invaded India. His name happens to be Amir Taimur. Amir Taimur visited India, means he invaded India, he looted Delhi in the year 1398. So that dynasty, which was already declining, and the decline was hastened by Amir Taimur's invasion. After this dynasty, which is Tughlaq dynasty, we have a dynasty from 1414 to 1451, which is called Sahid dynasty. We will not speak much about Sahid dynasty because it's not so important. After this Sahid dynasty, we have another dynasty from 1451 to 1526, which is called Lodi dynasty. The Lodi dynasty was founded by a person who is called Balo Lodi, and succeeded by his son who is called Sikandar Lodi, succeeded by his son who is called Ibrahim Lodi. Balo Lodi ruled from 1451 to 1489, Sikandar Lodi from 1489 to 1517, and Ibrahim Lodi from 1517 to 1526. A few points we have to know about this Lodi dynasty. They happen to be the first Afghan ruling dynasties in India. So in that sense, Balo Lodi was the first Afghan ruler who ruled Delhi in the northern part of India, and after him we have Sikandar Lodi. Sikandar Lodi is credited with the foundation of a city which is called Agra. It is said that Agra, the city, was founded by Sikandar Lodi in the year 1505 by Sikandar Lodi. And we have Ibrahim Lodi, who is the last of the important ruler in this dynasty, and Ibrahim Lodi is the last of this ruler in the Delhi Sultanate, and Ibrahim Lodi dies in the year 1526 because of an important battle which is called Battle of Panipat. Battle of Panipat was fought in the year 1526. I am speaking about the first battle of Panipat. In this first battle of Panipat, a person who is called Babur invades India and attacks Ibrahim Lodi in a fateful battle which is Panipat, and Ibrahim Lodi is killed in the battlefield, and it gives an opportunity for Babur to start his dynasty in India, and his dynasty, we all know, happens to be Mughals. So Delhi Sultanate ends in the year 1526, and it gives rise to the emergence of the Mughals rule in India. Mughals rule India from 1526 to 1707 to 1856. I am giving these two periods for the end of the Mughals because Mughals began their rule in 1526, and 1707 is the death of Aurangzeb, which marked the end of a great Mughal emperor, the last of the great Mughal emperor, and 1857 is the period when the last Mughal emperor, who happens to be Bahadur Shah Jafar, was imprisoned and sent to Myanmar. So this is the end of Mughal dynasty also. Separately, an outline of the Mughals I will speak in the next slide. In the next class I will be giving an outline of the Mughals dynasty.